Ethan,
Yeah.
you wanted to talk to me, Ethan?
Oh yeah. I actually wanted to have like a separate meeting if that's possible, but like
Um,
yeah, but I usually don't. When you listed that on your syllabus, it doesn't really work because I think it's not the worker class I got, but
what's
was it
that?
possible? No, for like just a meeting for like how the class works and just I mean I know it's been a month since class started, but like I've been meaning to have this meeting for quite some time because I guess the email wasn't working or something.
No, what do you mean how the class works?
I mean, the sense of like, how would you have us go about things? I mean, I've been doing like, for example, with last week's stuff, like I was reading and trying to do yeah, trying to do the reading and that, but then the class just felt like we were doing more of the calculations with the calculator more than anything else.
No. First of all, if you're listening to what I'm saying, when I teach the class, you have to listen to what I'm saying.
Hmm.
There's some things that I can teach you with. How long have you been in the class? Since the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay. If you notice, there's, like I said from the beginning, maybe you weren't listening or you missed it. I said there are things that I teach you that I don't do much of a lecture. We go into the calculations,
Hmm.
and there are things that I do with lectures, and then we go into the calculations. This
Right.
is a business class, right? So when I'm teaching you something, right? You there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm here.
But when I'm teaching you something, right? Listen to the things that I'm saying, right? As far as the calculations and stuff like that. It's a business class. If you were working at Citibank or any other firm, right, as you're learning a job, no matter how you're looking at it, right, the same way that I'm teaching you, that's the same way you would learn it.
Right. Okay.
That's how it works.
Yeah, I
If you
just wanted
work
to have
in,
like a yeah, I just wanted to have like a kind of like an introductions between me and you. I usually just try to like make relations between my professors. So,
yeah, it seems like you're doing well with me from what I've seen.
uh, you know. But besides that, yeah, I just wanted to get a good feel for it. I mean, it's not like I haven't been paying attention or I haven't been taking notes or been paying or anything like that. But it's just, you know, just wanted to really double check because um, I did switch majors recently, so things just work a little differently for you guys in finance and all
No,
that.
you're
So.
doing good, man. Don't be so hard on yourself. We're doing good, and just keep up the good work,
All right.
and you should be okay. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Good evening, Professor. How are you today?
All right, Rosario, how we doing?
We're doing good, thank you.
Okay, good. I'm happy to hear that.
So far, so good. I can't complain.
Class is going well?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great,
Thank you.
great. Keep it up.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, how you doing, Krishna? All right. Sign on, sign off, and sign back on.
Hi, Professor.
Hi,
I just have a question before we start. Can I ask you?
sure.
So it's in regards to the homework again. I know that you're having issues with your email, and I emailed you that day. It was last Thursday for the homework assignment.
Mhm.
It was a Jewish holiday, and it was a fast day that
You
started.
did, you did. I did get that. I did get that.
Okay.
And don't worry about that.
Would I be able to? Can I go back into the homework assignment and complete it?
I don't know if you can complete. Uh, I'll talk to you after class.
Okay. Okay.
All right, I'll talk to you after class.
And also in regards to the quizzes, how much like do they contribute to the final grade?
It's 15%.
And how many? We're gonna have one on each chapter, right?
That's right.
Okay, so what happens if you don't do so well in a quiz? Because the first two I did okay, the third one was just a little bit harder.
Yeah, well, I don't, that's just how it goes. But do your best. Do your best. You have the midterm carries 35 and the final carries 35. So do your best.
Okay,
Worry more about that, okay?
right. In regards to the midterm, how do you recommend studying through the textbook, mainly?
Yes, and also look at the recordings.
Okay.
Like go over the recordings because remember I said at the beginning of the class, I said there are things that we're going to do a lecture on, right?
Mhm.
Those are things I'll explain to you. And there are things that we're going to go right into the homework and the quiz because if I was trying to do it in a lecture, we'll spend maybe 3 or 4 weeks on it trying to explain it to you,
Oh, okay. Got
right? If I try some things, if explaining um, whatever it is, the chapter we just finished, right? It's better to explain certain things through to just getting into it. Like if you go to work for a bank or something like that, or any kind of firm, they're not going to give you lectures. They're just going to say, look, this is what you do. This is how we do it, and this is how it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're not going to give you any lectures or, okay, this happens, that happens. No. Say, you go into the job and this is it. I try to make it as real as possible.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. Do you did you mention the style of the midterm? I might have missed it.
Once we finish with this is chapter 5, right?
Yeah.
No,
Or
no,
is it
chapter 4.
four, yeah.
Right. Once we're done with chapter 5, we're going into the midterm.
Okay, so you didn't give a date yet.
No, not yet. There should be in a couple of weeks or so.
And it's gonna
Once
take
we're
place
done
in
with,
Pearson?
excuse me?
It's gonna be on Pearson, the same style as the quiz is.
Yes. Yeah, everything's on Pearson. Everything. The only thing we do on Blackboard, the only thing done on Blackboard are the lectures
Right. Okay, yeah.
and the class sessions.
Right. Okay.
All right?
Thank you so
Okay.
much. Thank
You're
you.
very welcome.
Professor, real quick before we
Yes,
start.
Sorrel? Yes.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, how do we go over the quiz answers again? Like on our own, not like in class.
I believe you go in and there's a place that you click review. I don't have that function. You guys do. Yes, Stephen.
Yeah, I think it is on review, like you said, because it shows you
Right.
all your past work for homeworks and quizzes.
Thank you.
All right, good. Because I think I got like 2 of the questions I got wrong was just basically wording. I want to make sure if it's that.
Okay. All right. Does anybody want me to go over the quiz? Or we're good? Is there anything anybody did not understand on the quiz, the last quiz that we had?
I think it's question 2.
Hold on 1 second. Question 2. Okay, hold on. Tell me when to stop. Okay, Michelle, hold on, Michelle.
We can't really see the screen.
Wait. Hold on. Can you see it?
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay, question 2. Tell me when to stop.
Sorry. Let me just. Sorry, I just gotta check quickly. Yeah, it was question 2.
Which one?
Question 2.
I'm going over them. Wait, show me which one. Okay, hold on. Is this it right here?
No, it was a multiple choice question.
What is
That
your
one's
question?
number 3,
I'll tell
Professor.
you.
She said 2.
Is this it?
So basically, it's your brother offered 10,000. I think the numbers are different, but it's the one with the brother.
That's the homework.
Yeah, this one.
Oh,
Question 7. Sorry. I mean, yeah, it was a different number, but same question.
okay. So your brother has offered you 10,000 today or 20,000 in 9 years. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the present value of this 20,000 going back 9 years. If it's greater than this, then this number you take it. If it's less, you don't. You take this money now. So in
And
this
why is that?
situation, excuse me,
Why is that? Why would we want a larger present value?
because it's worth more than today,
Gotcha.
right? If you take this back 9 years, it will give you the present value. If it's greater than this, then you should take what your brother gives you in 20 years. Because if you put $10,000 in the bank, right, and wait 9 years, right, you might not get 20 back.
Oh, okay.
But if the present value is bigger, you will. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I get it now.
Right? Yes.
Yeah, it's Ethan again. So can you go to question number 1? I just want to make sure.
No, hold on 1 second. Let me just finish it. So you see how the present value here is 14 grand? Michelle, are you there? Hello? Oh, she's gone. All right. Which one? Who was that talking to me before that?
Ethan.
Hey, Ethan, which one? Which one, Ethan?
Yeah, number
Question
1
one?
on yours.
Okay. This one?
Was it that one? Wait, no. Yeah, was it this one? Hold on, give me a second.
Take your time, Ethan.
Yeah, it's this one. So it was just asking for actual present value, right? So
Uh-huh.
okay, because the wording kind of threw me. Because I did know that it said present value, but the way they were wording A, B, and C threw me off.
No. And I did it from the homework. That's what I was trying to explain to you, right?
Yeah, and I
It says,
remembered
what
about
is
it
the
like a
present
second.
value? Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Let me talk, please. All right, just hold on 1 second. I'm going to give you a chance to say your piece. It says, what is the present value of $10,000 received? A, 24 years from today, 12 years from today, and 6 years from today. This top part represents all of these going present, right? So, which means that all the answers that you're going to be getting is going to be greater than $10,000, right? Because we're going forward in value, right? If it were present, it'll be less, right? When somebody says to you, what's the present value of $10,000 6 years, right? It means how much money do I have to put in the bank and wait 6 years to get this amount, right? If someone says to you, what's the present value of $100,000 going out 10 years at 7%? You know they want to know how much money that they're going to put in the bank right now, this second, wait 7 years at this interest rate, at this discount rate, to reach $100,000. If someone tells you what's the future value, how much is this going to be worth later on, meaning this amount right here, this 10 grand, is definitely going to be more. Always understand that. And one of the 2 things that I always tell my students, same thing with work, same thing with these things, pay attention to details, right? Pay attention to details. The rounding, round to the nearest dollar. Very important in business. Very, very important, right? Here, right, if you're working for a firm and they tell you to calculate the value of present values of or future present value received, right? We know this is present value. It's going to be less, okay? So we know that your boss wants to know how much money do we put in the bank now, or do we lend this customer? How much will we have in the future, right? How much will we have? Future value is the same. Future value is the same, right? We're going to lend this guy money. and he's going to pay us back 10 years from now. Or the other way around, we want to give this guy 90 million, and in 10 years we're getting 100 million back. Right? We're going to give him, if we put 100 million, how much money will we have when 10 years from now, or the other way around? That's how that works. Okay? So when you're calculating these things, read the question. These things right here, very important. This right here, this is where most people make their mistakes on the exams. The rounding and this right here. Not paying attention to the questions. All right. Anything else? Yes. Who is
Hi, Professor. This is Yuan. Yes, I have a
it?
question. I also want to just review my chapter 3 quiz, to see
Yeah,
if I did
sure.
wrong.
Which one?
Yeah, but I just unable to do it. It says the assignment is now past due. Contact your instructor. I already did the quiz, but I just want to review it.
Oh, there's a place there. We talked about that before. I don't know if you heard.
Yes, could you guide me through? I'm sorry. So, because I am a bit.
Yeah, it's a function called review,
Okay.
and you hit it, and you'll be able to review your quiz.
Is that under the assignments or?
I think it's result.
Oh, it's
I think results.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
results. My bad.
Okay,
All right.
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. All right. Now,
Professor, I have a question. Do you think we're going to have our midterm before spring break?
there's a strong possibility, yes. 100%. I don't want that on your mind when you're going on vacation. All right? 100%.
Okay, I just wanted to know. Thank you.
All right, because we have, after this chapter, we have one more. And then we go into our midterm. We'll review a week, and then we'll have it that Tuesday. All right, strong possibility. Let me get started. Let me get started. All right. One of the things that that I want to explain to everybody about this class, right? And anybody that's ever had me as an instructor know how that I like to teach and make real life situations where you understand it. Okay? Now, one of the things you have to understand, sometimes when I say something, try to see what I'm trying to tell you and see it the same way that I see it, and we'll be on the same page, right? This chapter deals with money and the way that it's paid out, right? Installment calculations, right? So it says you have a loan outstanding. It requires making 7 annual payments. Now, everybody's been waiting to use that payment function. Now you're going to use it, right? You have 7 annual payments of $8,000 each at the end of the next 7 years. Your bank has offered, right, to allow you to skip making the next 6 payments in lieu of making one large payment at the end of the term in 7 years. The interest rate is 1%. What's the final payment will the bank require you to make, so that it's indifferent in 2 forms of payment? Now, this right here, a lot of athletes do this, right? Instead of receiving like their salary every year, they receive what they call a balloon payment at the end of their career, so they don't squander all their money. Because, you come in, you're 18 years old or 19 or 20, and you're having the greatest time of your life, and you're not paying attention to your spending. So what they do, they usually put them on a stipend, right? That's why Ray Leonard still has money. He was put on a $300 stipend a week. I'm talking about a long time ago. And that's why I told today he's still rich. His financial planner told him, I'm going to give you 300 a week and we're going to bank the rest. And then when you get older, we're going to give you your money. When you get older, you'll be able to get your money. So that's why Ray Leonard still has money today, right? So they did, Patrick Ewing did this, what we're going to do here. He forfeited his money and waited till the end and got a balloon payment, right? So in this situation, right, you're working, you're a bank or you're an athlete, you decide that you don't want to get your annual payments. You decide that you're going to wait till the end and get your balloon payment. So this is the same situation. So in this situation, get your calculators out. We're going to calculate this, right? So we're going to say N equals 7, IY equals 1, right? Now payment, we're going to say equals, let's just say 8,000. We're not going to use the negative yet. We're going to say 8,000, right? Present value is 0, and then compute for future value, right? So payment is, I'm sorry, number of periods is 7, right? IY is 1, payment is 8,000, present value is 0, and then compute for future value. And what amount did you come out with? Anybody?
57,708.
708?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So did everybody understand what we just did? What we did was we calculated each payment, right, and made a balloon payment at the end, right? So the athlete, if he was receiving $8 million a year, right, because these are the numbers that if you are a sports agent or you are the bank that's handling Patrick Ewing's money or whatever it is, right? This is what he would receive, 57,708,000. The reason why we make these numbers so small, we want to make them manageable, right? This is what an athlete, this would be the same thing. And this now we can say, okay, if it's a loan we want to pay the bank, now we can say that also, right? We have a business and the bank says, okay, you guys can pay me now or you can pay me later, right? And the only time a bank is going to let you do something like that, you must have some serious assets because they're always at risk. The bank is always afraid that something might happen and they'll lose their money. So you must be a very, very wealthy or very hefty company. You know, you're as they used to say on the trading desk, you must be looking very thick, healthy, right? So let's go to the next question. Does everybody understand what I just did? So it looks something like this. Yes. Yes. So it looks something like this on the calculator. Same thing I just told you. This is what we did. Okay. Now, there's something called a perpetuity. Perpetuity. And what it is, it's an endowment. It's an endowment that's made to a college or a foundation. And the way it works is that you donate a certain amount of money, right? And then that money generates interest. That interest is given to that foundation forever. Forever. Okay? So, for instance, this endowment is for Queens College women's basketball. They're going to get $6,000 per year. And the way that's going to work is that you're going to use the perpetuity formula, right? You're going to say 6,000 divided by 0.04, right? So this is how it's going to look. It's going to look like this. This is the perpetuity, right? Present value of a perpetuity formula. Present value, right? 6,000 divided, this gets converted into a percentage to a decimal because you can't multiply, you can't multiply percentage, it has to be converted into a decimal. So 4%, you move decimal places 2 places, you move the decimal place 2 places, so this becomes 0.04. So you say 6,000 divided by 0.04 is 150. Right? And now, here comes the question. Well, Professor, what do you mean they're going to get $6,000 per year forever? $150,000 at 4% on a yearly basis will give you $6,000. The bank and a lot of institutions love money like this because they use this money and then at the end, they just pay the ladies at Queens College basketball team $6,000 and they'll have that forever. So 4%, if you do it, you'll come out to the same. We don't even need it, right? 0.04 times 15, right over here, equals to $6,000. Right? They'll get that forever. Forever and ever. So this is the perpetuity, present value of a perpetuity, right? Some of these large institutions, they get donations from a family, and the family might deposit 100 million, 200 million, and the interest that they get from that goes every year to a foundation or to a sports, whatever it is, a library, whatever it is, forever. That's what that means. Any questions here?
No.
These are, okay, I can't see that. Is that a yes or no? We're good, right?
No, we're
Grandma?
good. Questions.
Oh, you
Would you
okay,
be
that
able
was
to
yes,
show
okay.
how you did
Who?
question one? Would you be able to show the calculation of question one again? Because I was just wondering how to factor in payment. Is it just a regular future value equation?
Yeah, the same thing. Right here, this is how we do it. N equals 7, IY equals 1, payment equals 8,000, right? You could put present value as 0, right? And then you compute, right here. You compute, this is what you do. You don't even need to do this. You do the payment, and then you compute for future value. So 7, 1, payment, and compute for future value. Payment is 0. Okay. So you came out with 150. Good. Okay, so here we have an endowment, right? So first thing we have to do, we have to calculate in the first, you must donate today. You must donate today. So we're going to say 8,000 divided by 0.04. And what's the answer to that?
200,000.
200,000.
Okay, even, right?
Yes.
Right, that's 2 million. Okay. Now, it says, how would your answer change if you endow it, but it makes the first award 10 years from now? So you're starting at zero. You're starting at zero. So it's going to be 9. This is going to be 9. So all you have to do, right? First award 10 years from now is find the present value of 200,000 going out 9 years at 4%, right? So it looks something like this. So let's do it together. N equals 9, right? IY equals 4. Payment is 0. Payment is 0, right? Future values 200,000, and then compute for present value. And then you should come up to 140, 517.35. Right? Now, when you're doing this calculation, right, you go back because the endowment starts at 0, right? So 10 years, 0 counts as 1, so it goes to 9. Right? It says from today, not a year from now, today. So it starts at 0. Then when you do this first calculation, right, we get the amount that you must donate today. But how would your chance change if you endow it now, but make the first award to a student 10 years from now, from today, right? So you're going to give the present value, and then when it gets to 200,000, it will pay $8,000 a year forever because 4%, right? 0.04 times 200,000 equals $8,000 for the year. That's what this means. And these things happen all the time. The guy or the lady could be in her late 50s or 60s, and she says that when she passes, that's when she wants this endowment to take place. So they'll wait. And institutions love money like this because they can use this money, and all they have to do is come up with $8,000 for the institution, for the scholarship fund. Right? That's fine. And the $200,000 is being used over and over by the bank or the financial institution. Any questions here?
Professor,
Yes?
yeah, I have a question.
Mhm.
So in order to get the 9, we did the amount of years in which we're gonna start the endowment minus the amount of years in which we thought we were gonna start the endowment.
Right. So keep in mind that it's a timeline, right, for 10 years. Usually it's 1 to 10. This one starts today, so it's 0 to 10, 0 to 9. because it says 10 years. So you're counting that today as 1 year.
Got it. Okay,
You
thank you.
understand? You got it?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for
Okay.
clarifying.
All right. I want the class to take this question. I want to see if any of you can do this. It says, what's the present value of 9,000 paid at the end of each year for the next 81 years if the interest is 7% per year? Try this, class.
Is it 127,795 and 4 cents?
What did you get? 100 and what?
127,795.
And to the nearest cent.
4 cents.
0.04?
Yeah.
No.
Um,
This is what you told me to put down, right?
Yeah, I guess I got it.
Okay. Anybody else?
yeah.
Is
So
it-
it's, can I try 128,000?
128?
Yeah. And then $35 and 56 cents. 56.
Good job. Good. Okay. So let me explain how. Who was talking to me? Ethan. Good. Good. All right. Good. All right. So here's what happens. Here, this will be something that you will get in a lottery. This is exactly what a lottery, when you win a lot. That's why I tell you this class is so interesting, right? But it wouldn't be 81 years, right? Because they wouldn't make it that far out, right? If you're 50 years old, they wouldn't make it 81 years. And if you're 18, 81 years mean that you're going to live to be 100. So they probably make it less. So you don't want to wait for your money to come out all the time, this and that. So something like this, those guys come out. Those JG Wendriff, whatever it is. It's my money and I need it now. Something like that. So what you're doing here, you're going to say N equals 81, IY equals 7, payment equals 9,000, future value is 0, and then compute for present value. And that's exactly what he did. Good job, Ethan.
Thanks.
Right? This guy is going to be receiving $9,000 for the next 81 years, but it's a bit exaggerated. So he wants to know if he gets the money right now today, instead of waiting the 81 years, how much can he get right now? And this is the amount. So a lottery would do this, right? Good. All right. Now, put on your thinking cap. This is on your exam. Okay? This has everything in it. Every function on the calculator that we've been using is on this. Every function. Right? So this is on the exam, and the questions always change. Okay, let me do it first, and then you guys can take over after you've learned it. Right? This question on the exam, if, excuse me? Hello? Someone said something? This question on the exam, I would say about 60% or 70% of people get at least 2 answers wrong on here. Okay, so let's do it. What happened here? Okay, so in this situation, it says you're trying to decide how much to save for retirement. Assume you plan to save $8,000 per year with the first investment made 1 year from now. You think you can earn 8% per year on your investment, and you plan to retire in 40 years immediately after making your last 8,000. Okay, so now let's calculate it. We're going to say this person, let's calculate the amount, right, that they're going to have saved, right, after 40 years. So we're going to say N equals 40, IY equals 8%, right? IY equals 8%. Payment is $8,000. Present value is 0. Compute for future value. And how much did you get?
2,072,452 and 15 cents.
Now, the next question is, you have money, right, from a rich uncle, whatever, and they want to know, you want to know how much money you need to put in the bank right now, to have this 2,072,452.15. So we need to find the present value of this, right? There are 2 ways of doing it. We can do it with the payment, or we can do it with this amount. I rather do it with this amount to avoid confusion, right? So we're going to say N equals 40, IY equals 8, payment is 0, right? Future value is 2,072,452.15, and then compute for present value. And what do we have?
That's $95,396.91.
Good. Now, this says right here, if you hope to live for 16 years in retirement, how much can you draw every year in retirement, starting 1 year, so that you'll exhaust your savings with the 16th withdrawal, right? So here's what we're going to say. We're going to say N equals 16. N equals 16. IY equals 8%, right? we leave payment alone. Future value is 0. Present value is 2,072,452 spot 15, and then we compute for payment. And what's the answer there?
23,437 with 29 cents.
23,000?
23,437
And what's the
and
cents?
29 cents. 29 cents.
That's not right. Anybody else?
234,139.16 cents.
That sounds more like it. Good.
Sorry, could you repeat the process for that?
Yes, sure. This is what they're trying to say to you. You want to exhaust the money, right? You want to finish it in 16 years. So there's nothing left, right? So you're solving for how many payments you will receive. 16 equal payments. That will equate this amount. So you're going to say N, right? N equals 16, right? IY equals 8%. We're solving for payment. And then we leave payment alone. The present value that we have the money in our hand, is 2,072,452.15. And then the future value is 0. And then you should come up with 234,139.16. Now the next part of the question is, we're solving for N. I told you everything's involved in this function. Everything on the calculator is involved. We're solving for N. So we leave N alone, and we say payment, right, equals 414, right? Now, if I'm not mistaken, one of them has to be a negative. Okay, let's continue. Payment equals 414. IY is 8%. We leave N alone because we're solving for N. And I believe payment should be negative 414,000. Negative. Right? Future value is 0. Present value is 2,072,452.15. And then we compute for N.
Is it 6.65?
4.38.
No, 6.65. Yes.
Can you just go over that those steps again for that problem?
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the things that I want everybody to know, if we have present value and future value in our calculation, one of them has to be a negative because they both can't be going in the same direction. Right? We can't pay out and pay out. The present value is what we're giving to the firm or the bank. So that's going to be a negative. That's coming out of our pocket. Right? The future value is basically what we're going to be receiving at the end of our investment, right? So it depends. This situation right here is a payout, right? You decide to withdraw. So we're withdrawing, it's a negative, right? We could say that, right? 1 year after retiring. So N, we're solving for N, number of payments that it's going to take us to exhaust this 2,072,452.15, right? We're solving for N. So we leave N alone. The IY is 8%. The payment is negative 414,000. So the way you put it in, you put the 414, and on the bottom of the calculator, I think there's a negative sign. You hit that, and it becomes a negative, right? Present value is what you have in your hand. You have the money. So it's 2,072,452.15, right? Future value is 0. And then compute for N. It should be 6.65.
So if you have a future value and present value, one of them has.
It has to be a negative. We're going to get to that when we do bonds. We're going to come to that point when we use bonds.
Okay, but for
Right?
here that doesn't
One of them
apply
can't
because
be going the same way. I'm sorry?
Right.
Okay, so now let's calculate the last one. This one we're calculating IY, right? So this one is saying this. This one is saying that this person, same person, assuming the most you can afford is $1,600 per year. You want to retire at 1 million in your investment account. How high a return do you need to earn on your investment? Right? It says use trial and error. We're going to come out with the right number, right? So we're going to say N equals 40, and we leave IY alone, right? Payment is negative 1,600. Present value is 0. Future value is 1 million. And then compute for IY.
11.26.
Good job. Okay, so this one has every function that we use on the calculator. And it'll look something like this.
Professor,
Yes.
can you scroll up so that I can see how to compute A? I think I missed something. Okay, so
This?
N is, yes. N is 40, IY is 8.
We're going to go over this many times. You're going to hate me for you. You're going to say, Professor, not again. And then doing the exam, you say, well, wait a minute, do I do this or do I do that?
Hi, Professor. I have a question.
I have an answer. I try.
Yeah, can you please explain E?
Explain what?
Part E.
Part E.
Yeah.
Part E. Okay. So does everyone get, okay, part E is that this person doesn't have a grant and they have an alternative, which is here. And what they're trying to, what he wants to do is calculate his rate of return. How much interest is he earning? What's his rate of return on the interest to get to this million? That's the only thing he doesn't have. He has a number of periods, which is 40, he has the present value he doesn't need because he knows what the future value is already, right? He's going to get $1 million, and then the payment, it can be going in the same direction, right? He gives this up, right? Every year he deposits $1,600 that comes out of his pocket, so that's a negative, right? And then he knows what the future value is, and then you compute for what the interest is, because we didn't put that down. That's what you're computing for, right? Same thing you see here, right? We have 414 as the payment. And here again, right? It can't be going in the same direction if there are 2 lines for it. However, when you put down your number in here, it should be absolute numbers only. This one takes a little practice. This one takes a little practice, but you'll get it. Most of you will, and I know that. I know that. Okay, so we're back to the perpetuity, right? But this one is a growing one. This one is growing, right? So when it grows, it's amount, rate minus growth. So 11%, and the growth rate is 7%. So the net is 0.04. So 3,000 divided by 0.04 is what?
75,000.
Why aren't we dividing by 0.11?
Because we talked about the perpetuity before in our first question. Remember we talked about that? This is a growing perpetuity. So what you do in this situation, you're saying cash amount, and on the bottom, it's rate minus growth. So this is the rate, and this is the growth. So this becomes 0.11 minus 0.07, which is 0.04. 3,000 divided by 0.04. Now, this is a growing perpetuity, right, as you're paying out. So now what we're going to do, we're going to say 3,000 times 1.07, which is what it's growing by, divided by rate minus growth. So it's going to look like this. 3,000 times 1.07 divided by 0.11 minus 0.07 equals 0.04. Now, the following year, this will be 1.07 squared. The year after that, because it's growing, it will be to the 3rd power, to the 4th power, and so on. And then that's how you would calculate the interest on here. And they'll keep growing. Does everybody understand that? Go ahead, ask me. Yes, Michelle.
Yeah, Professor, it's me.
Oh.
The part B, as you said about, you just talk about growth. Can you explain this again? What it is all about?
They want the last payment to be larger than the previous. So it's almost like the money in the bank is growing. So this is going to be 3,000 times 1.07 squared to the second power, right? So this number is going to be bigger when they calculate the interest. And again, right, at 11%, each year it's going to be growing. So the next time they do it, the year one, this is year one, right? So it's 82,250, and they're going to calculate the interest at 11%. Then year two, it's going to be 3,000 times 1.07 squared. Remember, it says larger than the last payment, the anniversary, right? So it keeps growing. Year three, it's going to be to the third power. Year four, it's going to be to the fourth. Year five to the fifth, and so on. It just keeps growing. Infinity. Do you understand?
Yeah, I got it. But this one is for a year right now, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. This one's for the year. So the answer is 80,250.
Wait, so what is the 75,000? Because we're saying that we're
I
going to be
can't hear you,
paying.
Michelle. I can't hear you. What did you say?
What is in the last question? What's the 75,000?
The
Because then
75,000 is the first part of the problem, which is 3,000, which is this, right?
but
Present value of a growing perpetuity, right? Rate minus growth, and the amount right here. This is the formula.
it's saying that we're gonna get our payment the next year,
What?
right? So it says you will receive a payment on the anniversary, right?
Which will be here.
So we're trying to differentiate the payment from the present value.
I don't understand what you have to speak up because you're breaking up. I don't understand what you're saying.
My bad. I just wanted to differentiate between the value that we're asking for in part A versus part B.
So this is today, and this is the value when you make the first payment. Immediately the first payment is made.
Got it, thank you.
Okay. Okay, you have an investment account that started out with $4,000 10 years ago. $4,000, I'm sorry, $4,000, which has grown to $7,000. What annual rate of return have you earned? You made no additional contribution to the account. So you're solving for IY. Okay? So you guys take over. You know what to do now. Now remember what I said about present value and future value in this calculation. So take over. Let me see if you can get the answer. You're solving for IY.
Is it 5.76?
Good job. Love it. Love it. So, okay. So and then finish it.
19227.31.
Oh,
$19,227.31.
No, that's
one,
not.
Michelle?
31, yeah.
What's going on here? So let's look at this. If the investment earns 17% per year from now on, what would the account value be in 10 years? So N equals 10, IY equals 17, payment is 0, present value is 7,000, and then compute for future value.
Yeah, that's what screwed me up. I used 4,000 instead.
Is it 33,647.8?
33,000, Alexis?
Yeah, 33,647.8.
Point what?
0.8.
No, it's 0.80.
0.8, she said. 0.08.
Sorry, I meant 0.80. I don't know how that came out right, but okay.
I don't know. It took it. We'll take whatever they give us, right?
Yeah.
All right,
Can
you were
show
right.
the inputs again?
I don't know either. You know what? I'm not even going to question that. I'm not even going to call the guys at Pearson. I'm going to leave this one alone. You know what? It took 08. It made it, it transposed the numbers because that would be like 72 if it were transposition divisible by 9. All right. The thing is, it says if the investment earns. Ethan, you had a excuse me. You had a question, Ethan?
Yeah, I just wanted to see the inputs again for the calculator.
Oh, this right here?
Yeah.
Sure.
But see, if we was to put 0.80 on the thing, we'd get it wrong now. Because the calculator gave 0.80.
It might take it. It might have taken it.
True.
It might have taken it. It might have taken it. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, so a lot of people who have a lot of money pay their mortgages once a year. That happens, right? And in this situation, the interest on the mortgage is not monthly, it's yearly, right? So this is a very simple equation where you have a $400,000 house, right? They make it very simple, and you put $57,000 down. So our calculation is going to be based on 343,000. That's what we're going to make our calculation as. So now keep in mind that this is a yearly mortgage, right? A yearly interest. So we don't have to, when we get to our monthly, that's when we do, I'll show you the calculations for that. It's done differently. So here we're going to say N equals 30, right? And then we're going, you guys take over. I gave you the N, I gave it to you. N equals 30. Take it from there. And we're looking for this. payment.
I'm not sure if this is right, but 33,386?
30,000,
No,
386.
33,000.
Hmm.
386 and 37 cents.
No, this is to the nearest dollar.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yep.
okay. One second.
So here's what happened. We're solving for payment, right? So we're going to say N equals 30, IY equals 9%. We pass over payment. Present value is 343, future value is 0, and then compute for payment. So it looks something like this. Good job.
Why is present value 343,000 and not future?
Where's what?
Why is the present value the 343,000? Why is it not?
Because I have the money. I have the money on me right now. The house costs 343. I'm paying for the house, right? And that's what the present value of the house is. It's not the future value, it's the present value. How much is the house worth today? Not how much the house is worth 10 years from now, today, right? And then we make the calculations. If I'm buying a house, I'm paying the house based on the value today, not the value that it has 10 years from now. So what's the present value of the house that I'm buying? That's why it's the present value. Okay, now this right here, this is a question, right? It says that you're saving for retirement to live comfortably. You decide you will need to save 1 million by the time you're 65. Today, you are 24 years old. So that means it's 41 years. However, when you make a payment of annuity, you like to make it even, right? So we're going to add a year to that and make it 42. All right? And then you guys take over from there. We're calculating for payment. Remember now, we're making N 42, not 41, because we want to make equal amounts. 41 will make it odd. 42 will make it right. Make it even. So N is 42. You guys take over.
Is it gonna be 12,191? 92, I mean.
192?
Yeah.
Good job. Good job. So here, this is how it's going to look. We're making the 42 payments. And we can just move the million over here as the future value, and then we calculate payment. We don't need to do all this.
Professor, what if
Yes.
the answer was 42? Would we have added one, or we only add one in order to make it even?
Leave it as is, but as you can see, it always gives it to you where it's odd, and you add an additional. One of the things too, one of the things that I used to see, a lot of times when they used to pay you, right? They pay you, let's say you turn 65 and they need to pay you, right? They pay you the year that you turn 65. So let's say your birthday was December 31st. Can you imagine you have to wait a whole year before you get the money? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Right, yeah.
It's great if you were born in January, but if you were born in December, you gotta wait. So sometimes those can come in as a factor in calculating the annuity or your eligibility for retirement, right? Because you can't wait the whole year. What if you don't? Yes.
Professor, can you please help me how we can do this in the calculator, this question?
Yeah, sure. N equals 42, because I told you, you add 1 to it. 65 minus 24 is 41, but you add 1 to it. Make it 42, so you have 42 equal payments, right? N equals 42. IY equals 3%, right? Present value is 0. Future value is 1 million. Compute payment. And then you're going to come out with this 12,000.
So did you first
Professor,
compute
when we
for present value, Professor?
No, don't do this. Don't do this. Right? Don't use this. So what I would do is N equals 42, IY equals 3%, future value is 1 million, and then compute for payment, you're going to come out to 12,192. Okay? These are other steps. This is if you did it for 41, right? But it's telling you that you want to have equal payments, right? So avoid all that and just say 42 as your number of periods, right? The interest amount and the future value, and then you compute for payment, and you're gonna come out with the same thing if you do it on the calculator. If you say right now, let me talk. If you say N equals 42 on the calculator right now, anybody, N equals 42, IY equals 3, future value is 1 million, right? Present value is 0, and then compute for payment, you should come out to 12,192.
Thank you so much, Professor. I really
Right. If we do not make 297 today, we can make 42 equal payments.
So if we get a question like this, every time we have to make the number of years even.
You add 1 to it.
Every time.
Yeah. Yes. This is like a little trick. This is a gimme question. 240 divided by 3,000 is 8%. I threw that in there. All right, listen to me. I'm going to assign this, and we're going to go over it on Wednesday. I'm sorry, on Thursday. All right, I'm going to assign it now. Yes.
Professor, can you please help me to understand this question?
Which one? This one?
Yes.
This is saying that they're going to say the fine print says 3,000 deposit and you get 240 forever. So if you put $3,000 in the bank, right? right now, if you go in the bank and you deposit $3,000, and the bank says to you at the end of each year, we're going to send you a check of $240 forever. That's what this is saying. Because at 8%, 0.08 times 3,000 equals 240. So you'll get $240 forever. Do you understand that now?
I'm
This is
sorry.
the interest
I'm
that you're going to
confused.
earn in the bank. So each year it pays it out to you. It pays you out the interest. Each year it comes out, they send you a check, and they keep this 3,000. They start all over at 8%. It's not accumulating anything. It's not compounding. They pay it out, and then you start over again at 3,000 forever. Got it?
How do we find the 8%?
3,000, 240 divided by the 3,000. Okay, hold on 1 second. Don't go.
Professor, are you taking attendance?
I sure am. You against that?
Professor, no. Arista was here, but she got disconnected and she tried to log back in, but I guess because of it's 9:20, she wasn't getting back in, so she just asked me to let you know. I think her last name is Budu, Arista Budu.
All right. Tell her to send me an email so I'll remember, because I can't remember that. All right, when you see it, okay?
Okay, no problem. I'll tell her.
All right. Someone that wanted to talk to me? Have a good night, class. Someone wanted to talk to me?
Thank you, Professor. Have a good night.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Have a good one, man.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
Can I ask my question about the homework?
Who's this? Elena?
Yeah, Liana, you told me to speak to you at the end of class.
Okay, what's the question?
I told you that it was a Jewish holiday and I wasn't able to complete the assignment, and I wanted to know if you would be able to open it up for me so I could finish it.
Hold on, let me see. I don't know. If you started it, you can't finish it. That's it. Hold on 1 second. Elena, last name Elena?
Fatir.
If you started it, which one is that one? Which number?
It
Which
was
quiz?
due on Thursday.
Homework 3?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I can't change that. You started it. You should have never started it.
But I didn't, I thought that I would be able to complete it, but then it didn't end up working out that day because I had to leave to synagogue for service.
All right. It's 1%. I mean, like 1.5% of 15%. So that's not going to do a lot of damage. Okay.
Okay.
I can't open it.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything
All
I could do? Maybe I can see the questions and submit it to you.
right. I see them. I see them. There's nothing I can do about that.
Meaning, like, can you change the grade on your end at the end?
No, I'm not changing the grade. Just don't worry. Okay. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay.
Do well on the exams. Worry about that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Professor, do you teach any other classes aside from this one?
Yes, Echo 101.
Okay. Okay, got it. Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, fine. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
All right.